So I've been a big fan of Five Nights at Freddy's since it first came out back in 2014. Back then, it was all the rage with all these videos of people getting jump scared, all these theory videos that were coming out. So I decided to just come and revisit it, play for the first time, and see if it was really worth all the hype. Overall, the first night was really easy. Nothing really happened. No one came at my door. I didn't have to worry about getting jump scared. Night 1 was a little boring, but what I will say about night 1 is that it definitely felt like I was in an uneasy position. I felt unnerved, and just sitting down in the office, not being able to do anything, really did feel scary at the moment. It felt like you were just powerless to do anything. If something did come at your door, all you could do is just close it. You couldn't really do anything else. You couldn't fight back, you couldn't run away. You just had to sit there and close the door and pray that it just leaves. And I feel like that's something that FNAF 1 does really well. That feeling of powerlessness that you just get while sitting down at the office. Night 2 was no real big difference from night 1. Maybe I got Bonnie at my door, Chica at my door once or twice, but other than that, night 2 was just a breeze. You just kind of sat there again. And by this point, I will say that I still felt very scared, but not as much as night 1. It was kind of weighing down a little bit. It was kind of just not hitting as much anymore. By this point, I was kind of getting used to just being a part of this world and being in this position. Until at around 2 a.m., Golden Freddy appeared in my office for just a split second, and it scared the crap out of me. I was sitting there and I got the hallucinations that said it's me, and Golden Freddy was just there. I immediately put my camera up. I didn't want to have to deal with that, but I was just terrified, and it did throw me off my game. But after that, after those nerves settled down, I was kind of back in the same position that I was when I started night 2. I was just kind of just there, and I wasn't really too scared anymore. I was kind of getting the hang of things, and I was kind of getting a better feeling about it. I wasn't as scared anymore. By night 3, I was no longer scared. I was just kind of dealing with it. I started getting into the same routine that I would go through for almost the rest of the game of checking the light, then checking on Foxy, or later checking on Foxy and Freddy, and then just checking the lights again. There wasn't really much else I could have done. It was kind of starting to get a little bit more stale by this point, but it still kept that atmosphere going, which still kept me drawn. And obviously, Phone Guy and trying to figure out the mystery of what's happening still kept me wanting to play. But the biggest part of night 3 to me, it was the fact that my ego started to grow a little bit. I no longer was as scared, and I thought that the game was just super easy. I thought that I was going to be able to beat the game without even getting jump scared once. Night 3 overall just kind of gave me a big ego boost, especially since nothing was happening. I just thought that the game was super easy and that I was going to be able to just breeze through the rest of it. Going into night 4, it was really easy. I was confident going in. I had the same routine. I checked the light, then I flipped the camera, and then I checked the lights again, and then I flipped the camera again. And I just continued to do that until the end of night 4. I didn't really have any big problems or troubles with it. I thought that I was going to be able to just complete this completely without dying. And by the end of night 4, I just had complete confidence in my ability to just be able to beat this game. And I thought that I was going to go all the way 420 mode and it wouldn't even be a struggle. And overall, by this point, I just thought it was really easy. I never really struggled with the game anymore. Finally, night 5. This is the last night of the base game. If you just wanted to play 5 nights at Freddy's, if you just wanted to get the normal basic ending, the normal basic check of 120, this is where you'd stop. And it was easy. I don't know what else to say about it. I didn't really struggle with it. I learned that the technique that I use of checking the camera and then checking both lights was wasting too much power. I did notice that at the end, I almost lost. I only got a little lucky and was able to finally make it to 6 a.m. even though I got to a blackout. But other than that, it was just really easy. I didn't struggle with night 5 at all. I thought that this was going to be the night that finally humbled me, but all it did was grow my ego even more, like a sad little Jenga tower, just climbing up bit by bit. On night 6, after playing for like an hour straight and not dying once, it finally happened. I make it to 5 a.m., no big struggle, no big issues, and I ran out of power. And I got so unlucky I was at 5 a.m. for probably more than half the time. I was probably in like the perfect condition to win by like in the blackout if Freddy just took a little bit longer, and he jump scared me at like the perfect time. And it didn't make me mad. It humbled me a little bit, but it was a little frustrating. Because I made it so far without getting jump scared once, only to lose because of my own lack of conservation. On the second try of night 6 though, I beat it, and I was confident for 420 mode. I thought that I was gonna go in with 420 mode, maybe die once or twice, and then come out and end up winning. I was a Jenga tower on one block at the bottom. I was so close to just being able to do everything, and then reality hit. Going into night 7, I was gonna just do it. I was just going to somehow win. On my first attempt, I tried using the same method that I used for night 6, which helped me conserve a little bit more power. I checked the doors, then the cameras real quick, and then that's it. By 1 a.m., I had already lost. I got jump scared by Freddy. He snuck in because I wasn't checking on the right cams, and instantly I realized how hard this was actually going to be. Already on my 4th try, I was super overwhelmed. I hadn't even made it past 3 a.m. and I only made it to 3 a.m. off of luck, and it was always the same 2 issues that I had. I either had Freddy sneaking into my office just to get me, or I had Foxy running to me and just scaring me, but never ever could I even make it past 3 a.m. I played for about an hour before I finally decided that I was just going to see what the strategies were. Instead of going in blind, I was going to see what the main strategy for beating 420 mode was. I looked at some tutorials and guides, and I realized that the main strategy to use was to keep your cam on 4B, constantly flick it up, check the door, then the cam, then the other door, then the cam, then the other door, then the cam, constantly doing that. And even then, I still couldn't beat it. I made it to 4 a.m., 20% power, and Foxy had to run at me at this very moment for the 3rd time that night. And because of Foxy, I lost so much power that I went from 20% to 5%. If he never ran at me, that could have been the run. But Foxy being so annoying ended up being the reason that I lost. And I got so frustrated that I never beat the night. I haven't beaten it yet. I still have yet to beat this night. All because of one stupid fox that keeps running at me all the time. If you want me to beat 420 mode and you want to see me suffer more, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see me suffer more. So how does FNAF 1 hold up in 2025? It wasn't really scary. It was unnerving in the beginning, and the jump scares definitely were startling because of the loud noise. Overall though, it was definitely an experience. I see why it was popular with the flashy animatronics, and just overall, it was a nice simple game, nothing too difficult, but also something a little bit more challenging at the end. 420 mode was definitely the highlight. Even though I wasn't able to beat it, I do plan on eventually going and trying again until I beat it. Like I said, if you want to watch that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So overall, I thought it was fun. Even if I wasn't too scared, even if I thought it was too easy, I definitely think it was a fun game. Okay, but in all seriousness, thank you so much for watching. If you've seen all the way to this point, I really appreciate it. It really makes my day. I'm a new creator, and this is my first ever video. This is the first time I've actually ever edited and recorded. This is also the first time I've actually genuinely played Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and gotten this far in it. So just thank you so much again. I really do appreciate everyone that is watching right now, and if you're not watching right now, then I don't know how you're hearing me. So yeah, I hope y'all have a good one. Have fun.